didn't get a call from, what's his name? Said he might have, Trey. No, not Trey. Did Trey call?
See in this one.
I'm not sure which.
If he's not coming, we need to
adjust.
or pick up someone else, or can you think of it? Do you have anybody in mind?
Right now.
I think we have plenty.
Sonia, can you hear us?
Hi.
You just don't want to come out and get dressed. That's what your problem
I can't hear anything. Check my volume.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you see?
Can you hear us now?
Uh-oh, should I get kicked out?
No, you're still here.
I'm here.
It's on. You see it, Laura.
You can see me? I think that's what, okay. Yeah, my audio should be on too, though. Yeah, it's on. You can hear me, I just can't hear you guys.
My mics are on too, so I don't know.
Is anyone sitting here?
Someone else.
You good?
No one else in there?
Let me see. Let me try to go back in my bedroom and see if it can be better in there.
It is huge. It's so humid. Oh my
Oh.
God.
It is, that's why I was like, I've got to do something. I'll back away or something, but I'm back.
Mhm.
I have asthma, so I can't.
Oh, too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my grandson said he's dying. He has asthma too.
The state resolution.
You have asthma?
I'm sorry. The state resolution. Is that something somebody from our group?
No, you're fine. I gotta go in my bedroom because I can't hear anything.
I think we asked for it at our,
She's moving around.
the last community relations meeting. We
Okay.
asked about it because of the sick.
Sonia?
I've only been able to read half
Here,
of
let's
it.
I'm gonna try headphones and see.
He asked me to do it. I don't want to do it. So I'm hoping he'll come. But he's gonna have to scout tonight. Please let it be Jordan, please. Yes, she's here.
I thought it was at the one by my house.
Huh?
I thought it was at the one by my house.
Did you go by there?
No. Oh yeah, I was there. That's why I was like, oh, I got time. I'm good. It's by my house.
Does she hear us now?
No, she can't.
I think I was-
Uh-oh.
I can hear you actually a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think enough to be dangerous.
We just have to speak up for you.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll probably have to speak lower. I'm probably loud even on
Yeah,
here.
you are.
Always.
I'm telling you. That meetings to go.
In a good
Now I'm
way.
gonna purposely try to sound lower.
No, you're in a good way.
I don't think she heard me.
I didn't.
We'll leave it by the meeting.
Okay, Jordan, you have to start the meeting and do a roll call.
I'm here. Hey, Brown,
Here.
Tanya,
Here.
Trey, John,
Here.
Major, here, Loretta.
Here.
I think we gotta say all the presents are,
You don't have to.
okay, good. We'll figure out what they're supposed to say. Got a training coming up.
So I have included committee report and then the list of initiatives. I might have missed something, so if there are others you can add, but so on the agenda, you'll see that we have a selection of top 5 suggested initiatives and possible next steps.
Can we get it?
No, it's on there.
Oh,
Somebody's joining us.
oh, it's my husband.
I was gonna say stranger. All right.
I can report on the task I was given as far as to reach out to the different groups in the city. I have got a copy of the human resource directory for our group. The only thing I failed to ask is if they had an online copy of this. I don't know. But this would have a list of a bunch of groups. I've not had time to go through it to decipher which groups that we could partner with. And I've put a phone call into Kathy at the Chamber of Commerce, but I've not heard back yet from her. The other work I think we may need to do I think one part of this is identifying the groups. The other part is, as I read this, it says enlist the cooperation of all racial. So we're enlisting cooperation. I think we're going to have to come up with a purpose or a statement of what we're enlisting their cooperation with, if that makes sense. So as we compile this group and we want to enlist them to work with us, I think we'll need a clear vision of what that looks like. So when we go to them, we can say, this is what we're enlisting you to partner with. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So
Sure does.
that's all I have to report on what I was given to do.
So staying in that same vein, do we want to start thinking about the purpose or the vision for that partnership now? Or do we want to work on that and bring it back? I hate to have to keep putting stuff down the road, but do we want to do that?
I think we should maybe think about that and then come back to a second meeting and try to finalize it.
So that'd be a goal for next meeting.
I could see that as being maybe one of our top 5 initiatives
Okay.
to work towards. But again, I think maybe we need to do a little bit more groundwork so we come up with that clear. But I certainly think that it ought to be not lost within the top 5 initiatives that we designate.
Probably number 1. But you can't move to number 2 without having the vision.
Yeah.
My people perish for love.
Could we combine that with the first bullet point as an initiative, the social service structure, programming, and outreach efforts? That would be the first effort.
Yeah.
Well, all of us use the same one because we have educational. Okay,
I have an extra copy.
I think I have. some.
She's got
Here, I got it.
She's got it.
Yeah. Do you have an extra?
So as we're building the vision, you're saying to incorporate the structure, programming, and outreach efforts as part of that vision.
Yeah, I mean, because that all speaks to the organization. So the first initiative is what we want to do. To me, it seemed like it fell underneath there, or it could be the first initiative to that.
John, does that work for you?
Does it work for you?
Oh, yeah, it works for me.
I
I
mean-
think we could bring in that language or that
Yeah.
verbiage into the vision, right? Because that's what our goal is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Go get that baby.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's my grandson. He's upstairs. I'll mute myself.
It's okay. I just said, go
you
get
were
the
kidding,
baby.
yeah.
Don't let that baby.
Yeah.
She has grandbabies already?
Right.
It would work for me. I mean, it works for, my main thing is that we come up with a clear statement that we can go to these groups and say, this is what we're enlisting your support to be a part of. So So any of these could
Yeah,
fall in underneath that.
I like the development of a toolbox. We could call it like a toolbox
Yeah.
because we would be hitting all these different areas that we're supposed to do: religious, ethnic, education, community.
So you want to make that our second?
But
No, so we-
no, I'm just saying it
add
would,
into,
yeah.
To combine those two into one.
yes. So I think that the first point on here should be merged with the third. I think that's kind of what we're saying, and we can add John's information underneath those 2 bullet points. Will that work for everyone?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the proper way to organize it.
Can you explain that to me just a little bit?
Sure. I was saying that the first bullet point should be combined with the third, and we're going to lump those 2 points in with John's project.
The toolbox, where it says
Yeah, but
resources for.
But I don't want to miss what he said in the beginning, is to develop a vision or mission statement, right? Is that what you?
Mhm.
Well, as we're compiling this list of groups, my understanding is we're compiling a list of groups that we want to enlist cooperation with as we move forward. So yeah, so to me, if we can develop a list of groups, but when we go to them, what are we going to them with to get them to join with us is my big thing. Before I go to them, I want to have a clear vision or statement, that we're working on this and we want to enlist your support.
So we need like a homepage for our subcommittee that would state, our purpose, our goals, and what we want to achieve and how we want to achieve it. And then we want to share that with them and ask them if they would come alongside us and kind of help us with that for the city. I think that's kind of what we're saying, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, not even the more you say that, I even think about it, it's probably, again, the vision for the whole human relations committee and the work of developing that might fall under us and we run it back past them. Yeah. Does that? Yeah.
Yeah. So we need.
I think it out as we talk. So.
Yes.
But if we're to enlist the cooperation, we just need a clear vision of
Hi,
what we're enlisting them to.
you have to sit over there.
Okay.
Okay.
So was I correcting what I said, or are you thinking something different?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You said-
But for me, it's developing probably more the vision for the large group.
The whole group, not
Yeah.
just the subcommittee?
Yeah.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I mean, I don't think we're stepping out of bounds with,
correct.
yeah,
Because they may have other concerns that are applicable.
right.
So,
So we'll have to run it. I mean, certainly get their approval of that, but once we come up with that, then I think we can do the work of actually physically going out. I think it'd be premature to go out and list cooperation until we get specifically what we're asking, and that's my biggest concern. In some way fits with, again, I don't know who got this resolution, but even that, that gives a nice vision of, if you had some kind of resolution. I mean, if we talked as a larger group about creating a resolution for the city of Troy, even that would be part of this, I think, or would be this, and this is what we're enlisting you to join us with. Is that?
yes.
Okay.
Do we want the community events 2 to 4 times a year to come from the community team?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Are we gonna divide up which ones we wanna do, or?
Yeah, we just need to
Where?
kind of segregate this list so we can come up with 5. So whatever,
So we decided buying 1 and 3, the first
yep.
initiative. Are we doing the community one as a second initiative or no?
I think a lot can go under that first one. I mean, I think a lot of these bullet points can go under that, right?
I agree, yeah.
So like if we're looking at like even community events, right? I think that's one of them. Would you all think that that's?
Yeah,
True
that
or
would
false?
work. No.
I agree with that. That's part of the toolbox, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna tally and add that into the first
3.
2, yeah.
Say that next 3 are a part of that toolbox.
May.
Yeah. Social media.
So you're saying presence with updates on, yeah, sure, website, social media, other.
Topics. You've already kind of done the clear, firm
So there's
guidelines
been
on
a
the
big
hate
buzz in
crimes.
our community in regards to the street names.
Yeah, it's good.
So I don't know if that could be initiative number 2, but I know like there's been a big buzz about Lucille having an honorary name and some other people. And we started that conversation. So should that be our next initiative?
I think that we looked at all the street names, but we didn't look at all the statues and the building names. So I still think we need to do our homework on that. And I think that's kind of part of adding in a street name for someone, if that's what you all want to look at, certainly.
Yeah, I would love for that to be one if you guys are.
So street and building names?
Yeah.
And that information was returned to us during the second meeting that we had, because there's a list that we got from the city that has all the street names. Remember, we were talking about Lee, and there's a Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
So, but we don't have the names of statues and buildings.
So I don't know, the hate crime guidelines and the wellness, could those be tools as well, or does that need to be a separate?
No, it's separate, because remember the last meeting I stated that I would come up with a city ordinance. And so I started to write it, and I didn't, I said I would have it done by that following Monday, which I have 90% of it done, but I just want to make sure that I don't have any missteps in there.
Okay.
So
Should we marry those 2 together and make that the next initiative, since you're that far into it?
I think that's going to be an easy initiative. I mean, I think we can just take that as a subset. So
Okay.
I have a meeting on the 1st of September to discuss a lot of that. So I'll see how that goes, and then I can come back and report.
Okay. So we're going to consider that a subset now?
Yeah, I would say we should
Points
just.
together?
I'm sorry?
Do you think those 2 bullet points should be together though?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to circle the hate crimes, and I'm going to write subset just so I know, and that you'll report back to us on that. Because maybe that's like the first thing for overall HRC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with that. And so community involvement programs, that's kind of what John's working on, right? Like the beginning or subset underneath. So then wellness, what do you guys feel? Implicit bias training, that could be a tool too, correct?
That's under education. I think I think that should be taken out of this list.
I agree.
Because we had talked about this issue with Mark, which is the HR director for the schools.
Yeah.
And I had referred him back to the Obama administration document. That's kind of what that is. So we
Nice.
can
Okay.
just scratch that. I
Yeah,
think.
so the education has taken that one.
Yeah.
Wellness.
And then the list, again, that's kind of what John, you're working on organizations. Do we need to work on programs separate from the organizations, or are we going to put their programs under the organizations?
That would
That
go
would be under
Yeah,
the social service structure, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Social
that'll
service
go up
number.
That's
to,
why we're going to them for the
Right.
services. Yeah.
yeah, so then the next bullet point follows the same thing. Nonprofits, legal aid, I'll be honest, I don't even think they're serving our county right now. That's a big deal. Like if this is legal aid, the nonprofit, there's not any legal aid right now in our county. So maybe, yeah, I mean, there's public defenders, but the legal aid entity itself, they don't have a place here right now.
So
I
just
don't-
add that to the list and do some research.
Yeah. Financial aid, are we speaking of like FAFSA financial aid or financial aid across the board?
I think across the
Across the
board,
board.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe that goes with John too?
I think that's definitely under social services.
Services,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we need to try to match people with,
Yeah, and
Financial
housing as
opportunity.
well.
yeah. a lot
Drug
of this is just-
rehab as well.
Mhm.
Who you turn to,
The beauty of this community book,
It encompasses everything.
got it all.
we have that, so there is a legal aid line of Western Ohio. with
Yeah,
phone
and when you
numbers.
call it, they'll tell you that there's nothing in our county. So I think
Okay.
we need to call it and maybe we can help them find something. I don't know.
This says Miami County and 29 surrounding counties, but yeah, all of this stuff, I suppose we probably need to call and follow up on. to make
Yeah, some
sure-
of it's outdated, John, only because the book has been around for so long that some of it is outdated or they have new programs.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you'd like, I mean, I could start from the back and you could start from the front. Like,
Why don't we get in touch
me,
with the
because that is a
person who?
huge project.
This is the newest edition. This was up, 2019, June 1st was when this was updated.
Oh,
And who was it
Cool.
updated by?
This is put out by the Community Action Council.
yeah,
They
see.
also have a website,
Mhm.
miamicac.org,
Can you say it one more time, please?
miamicac.org,
Okay,
and then list all the organizations. If you click index, you'll see all the organizations.
Okay, so this whole thing's online, is what you're saying.
Probably
Great, yeah.
mentions. And they have
That
legal
makes sense
aid,
today.
legal aid line of Western Ohio. They have that.
Yeah, we've called it. And again, like, maybe the question is, do agencies get that book or do individuals get that book? Because I've rarely seen an individual have that book.
I think it's just, I know that I get it through the church. And so I think churches and agencies get a letter where you can go out, but you have to go pick it up. I
Yeah,
asked if we could have a copy for this team. They said absolutely. But again, if it's online, that's even better yet.
yeah.
it has everything in it.
Because I think every team ought to have access, because every team will be resourcing.
I agree. And, you know, they were testing the 211 system a couple weeks ago, trying to work out the kinks. So things are moving, which is a good thing. And I presume the 211 system is pulling their resources from that book too. It might be interesting to reach out to United Way to see where they got their resources. They might have more that we could add. And then I think the last one, meals, goes under social services too. So maybe it's okay that we have less initiatives, because that seems like a huge initiative alone.
Two total. too. Yep. And everything's going under social service structure.
Mhm.
So
And make some, maybe some subsets out of that, or
I think the third quarterly meeting was Troy Fire Department, Police Department, City Council. I think that's going to be an ongoing initiative, right?
Mhm.
I think that could be our third if you guys are on board with that.
And then should our fourth kind of be the same theme as the other teams, having access to be able to talk to the community? Because I feel like our other teams have that.
I'm not understanding what you mean.
So there was, I don't have that with me, but we did like kind of like the grassroots, like everyone to be able to have community people come in if they needed. Does every subset need that, or?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so maybe that's our fourth. How do we get the community's voice into?
I think that for that one, I think if we can get a website set up on Troy's website, then we can have a subcommittee website for each, right? And then hopefully if that works out, we can add a web form where people that would like to come, they can send us their information there. Then we can, call back and have them come out, blah, blah, blah. Or they can just show up, right?
Yeah, so it's just a shared, I don't know, one for all the committees, right? They all have that avenue of the same thing. Makes sense.
Mhm.
So speaking of the Human Relations Commission website on the Troy City website, so I looked up last night. You can't see it. It's the internet.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
So I went to troyohio.gov, and under like the boards and commissions, it's deep in there. That's what I'll tell you. I had to do some research.
I think it's listed alphabetically or no?
I don't know whoever thought of this website may need to rethink of the customer friendly portion of it, but I did. There's no slam against nobody. I just
Oh, I can, if you want to, I can pull it up.
Can you pull it up? Okay.
Okay, you said you're at the Troy, Ohio website. I'm there.
And so, like, if you do a search, because you're gonna have to do a search on human relations in order to find it, but it's under the boards and commissions.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe this probably be something for the whole is to figure out a way, because it's deep in there, and I don't know if most individuals who are not tech savvy who would be able to have access or know how to get to this.
Yeah, I'm more so like take a group photo, click on the link. You know what I mean? Like, and it says HRC or something. Yeah, I get it.
So some kind of bumper sticker, some kind of, I don't know what we can do to kind of get the.
For all the other commissions, the same format.
I know.
Set it up
Yeah.
for equal, same way for every commission.
So what I'm thinking for us is we have to find some way to get it out to the community of where to go to find us. Whether, like we talked about, giving employers like stamp of appeal or something. But we kind of like brand. I'm thinking branding to be able to give to the people in the community a way to be able to connect with us.
Yep. So you think the fourth initiative should be create a way to brand us for the community?
I like that. I do like that. When you do pull it up and it goes to like who the group is, you can't read anyone's name. You kind of can make out Jordan's, but maybe it's because it's on my phone.
Yeah.
But like it's all kind of crazy. You can't even see who's on the commission.
turn it sideways and landscape it, it'll all come up. It didn't
It's
say
there.
anything on
You
mine.
just have to, it's your phone probably.
Oh, it's my phone. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, my phone might replicate, as you're saying, if the community would struggle with it. I was just kind of showing that because I'm struggling. Like, even when I turn it sideways, it's still,
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
yeah. So again, like, I think that's valid.
Actually, thank you for telling us that because we just updated the website 2 or 3 months ago. And then we
Okay.
asked them to make it mobile friendly and they did. And then we had some issues for some of the web pages and maybe because this is a new page. That's why.
Yeah, it could be. I'm definitely not tech savvy.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's what she's getting.
That was a good catch, Sherry. Thank you for that, to know that.
Because it should be mobile friendly. Because we
Yeah.
have to communicate with them to fix the other pages and things.
Yeah, and you do have every committee out here. I mean, other than that, like, it's solid. You have every committee, you can see that. But yeah, for some people, it might just be. We talked about links to the original because what we really want to do, at least I think we want to develop, people to the norm. We're not trying to recreate the wheel or anything, but make it more
Right.
accessible.
Right.
I think as we're talking about branding, it would be neat if we could do like a short video, just, I guess, essentially just explaining what we do, how we do it, how we can interact, and how we can help. I think that's probably the way to communicate with most people nowadays. They're definitely not going to read it. And so then if we can do that and then push that out on social media, I think that's probably how we can get probably a big splash for a very cheap cost. And then people really understand our plight and how we can partner with them. So I'll add that as an initiative, but we have no budget. So we're going to have to figure out how to get that done with no budget.
So that our
I think with social media though, like, it's free. You know what I mean? You get somebody who's tech savvy. And then, like with adults, like people like maybe mom, social media, get out to the local, like churches, no matter who it goes, and get it out there. But my biggest concern are like the students, because that's what I work with.
Yep.
And it's just like, they're very tech savvy. So maybe if you can get a hold of somebody for your group, I mean, this is the idea, to come in that could be a representative for the youth, because that's something they could take over and handle. You just have somebody monitor them on that, because with the kids, those are the ones who basically don't know where to turn to when certain situations occur. As adults, we need to focus, with maybe the older people who are not as tech savvy, get out there and kind of talk to them that you're there. And then you get, maybe, but our age group to where we're kind of okay with it. But then the younger people are the ones that have their hand on the pulse of everything that's going on technology wise. And they know ways to get it out. They can set up a TikTok account or, just to say who you guys are and how to present it to everybody. So.
well, the only issue with that though, like the TikTok is.
I was just joking.
No, I was saying to her. She said, "I don't know what TikTok is," and I was saying, "Well,
I don't know.
No, that was a joke. My coworker, we use our cell phone to take a video and photos, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I know that there's some programs you can then combine the videos you have on your phone, and some of those are even free.
So I think this is this is free, right? Free to us, social media.
There's the sunshine laws, which I'm not very familiar with. So I don't know how all that gets wrapped
I guess we'll talk to.
up in our discussion. So we're going to have to figure out how we can do it without causing a legal issue for our city.
Right.
Yeah, and I would think that the city has, they do some social media themselves, don't they?
Yes.
So can we produce our own stuff and bring it back to the city to
approve or disapprove.
to even post for us. I mean, seems like to me, we ought to have the city structure to work with.
Yeah.
We don't have to create our own structure.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think we
Again,
go
we
back.
want to make sure that we edit and produce everything so we get the message we want to go out. But
Well, we first have to be able to create, I don't know, I haven't seen Troy's Instagram, Facebook. Do you guys have one? You do?
They have Facebook, yeah.
They gotta go to the proper channels once it's created.
Yeah.
And they can probably do all that for you.
Just push it.
right. Yeah.
And I was trying to,
Okay, good thing I put all of my notes.
We need a spokesperson
or,
for the videos. Someone that's very camera pretty.
Oh, I was on a
every one of us is camera pretty.
We're all
You're
I really don't want to be on anybody's TikTok,
It should be
Instagram.
all of us. Because our community looks different, right? I think our community wants to identify. So I think it should maybe be blended with all of us.
Yeah,
That's what,
Because we
male,
reflect
female,
our
old,
community.
young.
those are the posts from other organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say oh?
So this is,
Older.
That's
It's
Facebook.
okay.
so this
Okay,
is
so
the
this is the
Facebook page.
Facebook
Yes.
page, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can see Jordan's face and like they see a friendly face from school, from the church, from the community, business standpoint. We got military background, we got teachers, like we're the community. It's kind of
Mhm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. And by us being connected to, because we fall under the city of Troy, right? Through this, that ordinance, the chapter 135. I think that, and we'll have to get permission, but I think that this would be the proper place for it to go.
Yes.
Salome, do you know how those chains work? Like if we create a video, who do you know who manages the Facebook?
Communications coordinator.
Okay, so if we created something, that's the channel would go to the communications coordinator.
Should probably be directed in there first. and then-
Yes,
Okay,
and then
One other thing, I know Facebook, kids look at, that's the old people stuff. Instagram.
Yes, you're right.
I'm just saying, we have to do
Yeah.
both. Yeah,
You
so
have to do
if
both.
this, I know with that.
everything
my
we
kids laugh
share,
at me about
it is
Facebook.
shared on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But I don't know about I don't know about the videos though, because of I don't think
The link.
Instagram, you can really share the
Yeah, you can.
live.
Yeah, you can go live or you can,
Okay,
yeah.
but I don't know if we did that on Instagram, but I mean the live videos we have for council and for your commission meetings. But everything else is posted on all three social media.
yeah, my guess is they have one platform that they post it and it shoots it out. to
It
all
does.
three of those.
You can link them all together.
Yeah, yeah. That's helpful.
Thank you, Simon. So who on the team wants to take that on?
No.
I can do that. I just need, I don't mind doing that. So whoever the social media director or whoever I need to talk to.
First, if you decide what kind of video you want to play, and then just email me the ideas, then we can talk to mayor and city director, and we can ask. And then if they say yes, it's fine, then we can start working on producing the video. And
I'll
then
help
we
you
can
with that.
definitely post it on Facebook and share on the other social
Okay.
media pages.
And I'll be happy to help you. Yes.
Cause Lauren knows.
Yes,
my
and
schedule.
Lauren,
That's why I was like, I don't even know what I'm
communication
saying.
coordinator, she's the one who
I have a
posts,
digital marketing
posts,
group.
stuff
I
on
have-
social
okay.
media.
7 people that work for me that do this all day
Yes.
long.
Okay,
So I can.
We just need to
Get them
get
to
an
get our
approval of the
content stuff,
idea and content of the video.
There we go.
Then
okay. So do I need to write up whatever the strategy is that we want to do, send it to you to get it together, please?
In outline form.
outline, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to.
Why don't we do
script
two
for that,
different ones? That way,
I'll be-
see which one they like the best, so they get.
But really, yeah, I think we're gonna have to script it out. Like, we're gonna have to write out what we want,
Mhm.
script it, and then somebody has to get it all pretty.
Don't forget about me. I feel like.
What's
Oh,
that?
you are gonna be there.
You can do it.
You will be right there, Salome.
No, I'm joking.
So does the city actually have the resources? If we said this is a video we want to create, would they tape it or we?
And we don't do like movie type.
Right.
Anything like that. But no, I mean, Lauren has done some to discuss, well, let's just leaf pickup, because to help show people about leaf pickup and things like that, just as, so I mean, yes, she's been able to take subjects once everything's all through the process and everything.
As I said, we use cell phones and then she can add in and combine like
Yeah.
different parts of the video together.
Right.
So she can edit, so,
Yes.
yeah, because
Yes,
if you use an iPhone today, the new iPhones, you'll get.
Yeah, but
a
Marvin
video with
said,
them.
just so you have a department within your organization.
I do.
Oh, it's probably sweet too.
Yeah.
So you can edit,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can do
okay.
all that.
Yeah,
so we
Yeah,
can
we
just
don't have a
put a
special
complete video
department.
together, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's be self-contained as much as possible so we can have less of a no and more of a yes.
There you go, I like that.
Yeah. Just go ahead and get it done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try to get to yes. That's what I do every day, try to get to yes.
I like that. Yeah, I need to absorb some of that. So all I get is no. It's not fun.
No, I know.
Get my feelings hurt.
So what initiative was that one
4.
for?
So I put create a way to brand ourselves to the community, possibly create a video explaining our vision and goals, to be distributed through social media. It sounds like a good initiative.
Is that the only way you're gonna get out to people? Or is
No,
that
you
just the
got-
main one?
No, that's just a subset of.
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, it's just like a-
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think a part of that is too mailing, because we have to think of the older generation who does not go on the computer and don't have access to social media. Good old fashioned mail, right? We can probably get like and I am not in marketing, I just want to tell you, this is coming off the fly, but some small, 4x6 flyers or whatever size flyers, small, with just some contact information, hard hitting, that we can send out to the community. They always send that stuff to your house that ends up
Do
in
a
the
tagline and make you read it.
Yeah.
And again, if you wanna reach the older generation, I know this sounds ancient to a lot of us, but the newspaper, even back in the
Newspaper ad.
newspaper, there's.
We'll have to dig into the
Also
mail.
made it-
Say it again?
Could we make it accessible for like churches to run
Yeah.
on Sunday, like Partners in Hope? We want to run advertisements down in the lobby so people can see. So the organizations that you're going to partner with, that could be one of the things that they decide to do, that they just help us market as well. I mean, for Partners in Hope, we have the whole list of churches, so we could quickly pull something out with the church constant contact or something of that sort. But that's very popular on a Sunday to, have all the things going across the screen for your community.
We could also do like, the Y has all the information for seniors there. They have a senior section. We could do them. I see you have your place there, fitness.
Anytime Fitness.
Anytime Fitness. They have a senior program. those kind of places we could drop them off to. The library.
Mhm.
I
Miss
know the
Salome,
schools is itchy. A lot of them will not let you
Yeah, I think we just stay away from the
leave flyers and
schools.
stuff
But
for
if it's
that.
through the city of Troy,
It should.
Well, that's true.
they probably might, it's not like you're this organization coming just,
Right.
you know, so if you go to the city and you get the okay, then that's when you have the youth. You have a representative, I just feel like there should probably be one, if you can find one, that can like go, you know, do like a little small presentation to kids, say, hey, we're here for anybody who needs us, you know, and you know, do the website, because they always have their phones or the page or whatever for the younger people.
is there any money for marketing materials, Salome? Like, would we be supported? Like, I love that idea of having like an ambassador of sorts. And so what if we did something like, you know, the wristbands are pretty popular, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
Or something of sorts that they could hand out. That could be, we could have our email, a quick resource.
I don't know, that's not the question.
I think we're gonna have to email
And
the mayor.
there's not a budget set up at this point, so I think that's just something, you know, that
We
to
can
be
talk about.
discussed and
Yeah.
see how it can be, what.
Are we allowed to ask for donations? I mean,
No.
we don't do that.
I think
I think we
can
asked the
talk
city,
with
right?
the board to see if we can get some
Yeah.
money in the budget line item, because I looked at the budget for Troy and there's $0 for the HRC. So we can talk and see if we can get some funding. And so I guess maybe we can add that to the
Well, a part,
commission as a whole.
can I read this here?
Yes,
That is a part of the ordinance, which
Okay.
is 135, chapter 135. It says that the actual and necessary expenses of carrying on the activities of the Human Relations Commission shall be paid out of funds appropriated by council and funds contributed by interested parties, interested persons or groups for such activities.
Okay.
And that's ordinance 135.06.
Right. And just like, you know, all the departments, we're going into our budget process. Oh my gosh. Hard to think of that. And so like, you know, every department, every commission, like civil service, has to be submitting their budget. So, you know, this is all part of the budget process.
Yeah.
Is there a form an official form that everybody submits? Do we need that form to
It's
submit, or do
more
we
like
just create it ourselves
Their
and submit
form,
it
I
to
mean,
there?
it can be that generic, it can be, most of them, right, like the city departments now, they have access to our internal system and they just put it in. Boards and commissions more submitted like blank dollars, and this is kind of what they want out of that blank dollars. I mean, even the plantings around town, that all has to come in and go through a couple of meetings and be processed. So however, you know, you want to try to identify it, that will be something to do, to submit to the budget process.
Yeah, and when does that need to be submitted?
It's starting now. It's, you know, you're not gonna maybe have a good idea. We're trying, the budget will have to be finalized by late November, when we're looking at it. So, you know, maybe as meetings progress in the
In a
next
month.
few weeks, just to start to get an idea.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, you're new, so.
Right.
I mean, there's no commitment of dollars to anybody right now, but yes, you know, start to look at those things.
And we're on a calendar year budget.
We're on a
correct?
calendar year budget.
Okay.
Yes.
So would we maybe try to come up with
Yeah, we're gonna have to with each of the subcommittees. We need to.
Come up with a budget.
And
so I mean, is that what our
you're not gonna get
fifth
down
initiative
into
should be?
finite dollar. You're not gonna be able, I don't think, to say $200 for printing. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing figures out of the air. But, you know, some idea, some printing and what wants to be printed and.
Yeah, I think that would
try to
be
get
one
some
of our
cost too.
initiatives. We're gonna have.
Yeah.
to-
And that's what, you know, that's just some general idea more than anything, I would say.
So you want that to be our fifth initiative, to create a budget?
Are they still having the night out for the kids this year?
Last I knew, it's
In October.
that day. Did you, what, I'm sorry.
National Night Out has been moved to October.
Yeah, October, and I looked
Long
at
as
it
reach.
today and I can't
Well,
The first
I,
Tuesday of October, maybe?
Yeah, it's October. I can tell you the day. Give me one
Thank
second.
you.
Officer Long took it over and he's reached out just to see who's interested. And so I'm not sure how many communities, because it's separate communities right now.
yeah. Is it still 5 of them or is it 4?
I'm not sure if it's 5 or 4 in truth, and I'm not sure how many. I actually sent him an email today inquiring, I'd like to be one of the first ones. So I was interested how many people actually said okay because of COVID, and I haven't gotten a response, but I can look up.
Everything
I
is
know it's
subject.
October. I want to say it's October 8th. It's always the second Tuesday of the month. So if that's the 8th, it's October 8th.
Yeah, because I was thinking with all of our the total group, it would be nice if we could make an appearance at one of them.
Yeah.
And
Definitely. So it's either going to be the 6th or 8th. Let me dig through my email. If I can find it.
I'm pretty sure it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, the maps make it the 6th or the 13th.
Wasn't, I'm sure it was, I don't think it was the 13th.
I may not be there.
So that's national.
National Night Out.
Night out.
I think they changed one of our games to that day, so I may not be there, which is not a big deal.
Yeah, it's all good.
We run one of them. So if you want to come to Garden Manners,
Coach on birthday too.
more than okay, here it is.
There's one usually across the street from Richard's Chapel.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
October 6th.
but have everybody
October
could go at a different
Yeah,
place and introduce ourselves, talk with the kids and stuff.
At October 6th.
Yep, it's going to be Officer Long, and it's the 6th this year. So maybe figure out who. I don't know if that is ran by the center or the church. Like, I don't know what organization does.
Both of them, combination. Lincoln Center does most of it with games and
Okay,
food.
so I
And
may
then some of
reach
the
out to
other
the center to
churches.
see if they're going to do it this year or not.
Right, and some of the churches participate and they bring food or whatever, hot
Nice.
dogs. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the police, they usually come.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot, but they come, and also the fire department comes with the fire truck, and then he lets the kids in and they get to see stuff. It's cool. It's cool. They
We
have a
have
lot
the
of games.
games do raffles and play games, but I
Yeah.
intentionally make that structure because they're popping around. So I make
Yeah.
it intentional so they do have that time to build community, although sometimes it's a short time that they're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sonia, being that information that you just shared with us as far as dates and everything is not well known, are you able to share that with us, with the committee? The
You mean
dates?
the October 6th date?
Yeah, that
Oh,
information.
yeah. No, I mean, he just reaches out to the normal groups that happen. And yeah, so I don't think it's a secret. Any neighborhood could do it if they want to do it.
Lincoln Center, you could find out from them too.
Lincoln Center?
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, the
sponsor
Lincoln
it.
Center will know if they're going to have their date. I'm
gonna
going
do
to
it.
proceed with Garden Manor. So they'll be there, and they have a couple other neighborhoods as well.
Yeah. Westbrook has one.
Yeah. I know a lot of people talk about they wish it would be one again. I don't know, and we need to talk to more community, but I know they did that so they can intentionally build relationships within the community.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But when they had one, they had way more support. So like you would have Outback, you would have all kinds of freebies, and that drawed the whole city down.
Yeah, it was.
And they missed that.
Yeah.
Was it at the park before?
Yes, it was at the
Yeah, it was
park.
at the Troy Park.
I think the one was just good because, when people, like if people drive by, see a lot of people, some people won't stop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the park and it's a crowd of people and it's just popping in there, then that's when they'll come
They'll
in.
come, yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a good
But
idea
it's-
regardless, but I just think.
It's combining, I realize they're trying to do their communities, but if we're gonna ever be together as one, then we need to have everybody at the same, and that was so fun.
There's a certain demographic in certain neighborhoods.
Right,
So you
right.
have your demographic here, you have your demographic here, so people are gonna go to,
Theirs,
instead of just everybody being
everybody going
together.
together, right.
And you got free food.
Yeah, there
So,
was lots of
Free food, tell them, Jordan, it was the
Yeah,
truth.
lots of it.
so under our 2 to 4 initiatives per year,
That could be one.
that could be one.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you for your input. I believe I know who's the community person, but I can't see her. I can see her legs. Your daughter, isn't
You
it?
know me.
Okay, I was like, I thought that was you. Thank you for your input.
So you said create a national night out. for that
Under the
community event.
community events where we have 2 to 4 per year,
Yep.
one of the 2 to 4, or one of the events should be a national night out
Mhm.
for the city of Troy, not individual communities, but in the heart of town.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the,
Community as a whole.
Yes,
Mhm.
Because other people in the one community, you already know each other. You see
Right.
each other every day.
right.
You know, if everybody's together,
We
then
get
that's,
past COVID.
yeah.
Mhm.
They had a lot more education too when they were together. So like you could see the SWAT team stuff, but maybe we need, because of the light of the tension of the world, maybe we need to have more relevant education. The police could talk about what excessive force means, talk about, you know, things that it's just hard to talk about right now. So maybe we need to be more intentional when they do have National Night Out.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be honest. I get along with everybody. I'm a people person, which is why I coach. But I noticed that because of everything that was going on in the world, you know, at my gym, I mean, you can tell what people are
Thinking.
police officers or whatnot. And I'm the type of person, a lot of times I'm in my own world, but I'm always very aware of my surroundings because I've always been taught stay on your P's and Q's. But, you know, I have a couple cops that work out at my gym, and I know there's a stereotype like, well, you know, do all black people hate, you know, the police or whatever? You know, me and this officer, we had a very, very, very good and open and honest conversation the other day. And I'm the type of person, when I work out, I work out. I don't want to talk. I don't want to communicate, nothing. I'm in my zone. But I felt the tension and felt like, you know, I'll finish my workout real quick because this is a conversation that needs to be had because there's so much unknown and not communication. Because like I told him, I was like, you know, I see stuff differently as a black man than you do. But at the same time, I also got to be like, how do you see each scene? And he's like, you know, and I mean, he brought to me examples of like, he got called for like a domestic case or something. The cop or whoever it was like, you're racist. And he's like,
recorded.
huh?
This is being recorded.
I know.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that now. But, you know, I think that in regards to, you know, that national night out, what you were speaking on, I think it would be good because I do believe that that's a conversation that has to be had because there's no type of communication and there's just that I don't know what they're thinking and they don't know what I'm thinking. And I mean, to be honest, I don't know what a cop's procedure is, to be honest with you, but I felt like speaking to him, it gave me a good mindset of what they go through and what they think about. I mean, and also, you know, like when we talked to Officer McKinney, you know, and he broke down a lot of stuff. For me, you know, it was very eye-opening because, I mean, you do only look at what from pretty much your perspective because, I mean, I'll be honest, we all know what, you know, just what happened in Milwaukee the other day, you know, I mean, you know, I felt like, you know, me and him had that conversation and it was like, you know, I can have that conversation with you, but I can't, it doesn't matter if the same stuff continues to happen throughout the world. We can we can have all these conversations all we want, but not everybody's going to look at it from each other's perspective.
It's based on your experience.
Yeah.
Like if you never experienced it, you don't understand how much it hurts or how much you're worried about it. Or if you have children and they're in the community, what happens. But when you've experienced it or seen it firsthand, or if you're a person physically, you can look at somebody and tell they're a black or brown person.
Yeah.
You can't look at somebody and tell if they're gay or their religious background. You can't look at that when you see somebody. With us, you can see we're brown folks. So automatically, you know, depending on who you come in contact with, it's like, depending on their views, what they've experienced, what they see on the news, or what they think, that's what they're gonna think of. So it's so complex, it's so hard, you know, but it's nice, you know, somebody else's interpretation of what they feel when things happen. It's so hard.
And I mean, that's what I basically told him. I said, you know, in my experience, you know, I'm going to look at everything different than you and vice versa. But I was like, you know, it's a conversation that especially with what's going on right now and happens, it's a conversation that has to be had.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
When we talked about having 2 to 4 community events, is that important enough for that just to be one community event, a storytelling session?
I think so.
Stories are strong, and that's until we sit down at the table and hear each other's stories. And again, you can't make people come to the table, but we can create
that
space and
said that because we're in either intentionally or unintentionally already creating a narrative, especially for our youth. Like as she's talking, I know her personally. She's a role model to so many of our Troy kids, whether she's in our school system or not. But that's what they're seeking. They're seeking, like, what do I do? So they're looking for, through us and through our stories, of how to react in these times. I mean, I think that's priceless. I hear an honorary community member right over there. Because again, that's what our community needs. They need the people they already trust to elaborate on, you know, how are you going to deal with it? Because our youth are looking at us. And the conversations that we have in private is what they're doing in public. And so we need to make sure that these conversations are helping them and not hindering them.
Correct.
I definitely agree.
Town hall event.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely a town hall event, and when you have it, it's unedited to the point to where it might get heated. But it has to be, you know, something that's like have a moderator, somebody that you might be good at that. I don't know if I would be good at that. Like somebody who's kind of even keel and kind of like moderating, and they're not like taking sides or just open to hear.
Yeah, somebody that can allow smooth transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How
Exactly. You know, that's one thing that I notice when I go to check the human relations, like the YouTubes and the videos, I'm real big on comments from the community, just so I can know that we're on the right track, but they're always deleted. I don't know what's being said. So I assume it's negative because the comments are gone.
Well, that's what happens here. So I'm being real.
I mean, I understand, like, yeah, we don't want ridiculous slander, but if the comments will help us be the voice of our community, it's beneficial to know.
Good or bad, right?
Exactly. It really is. I mean, I understand I'm not trying to change the city way or anything, but even if it's like given to Marvin or something, just so we know, you know what I mean? Because I'm always left with, I wonder what the comments said. Did we miss something? Did we do good? Did we do...
You know, Sonia, when they had the peaceful protest downtown Troy, it's crazy because I was so scared for even my kids who ride their bikes all around Troy to even go anywhere during that time because of the comments that were being made on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's why.
And it kind of showed me what people were really thinking. And I mean, it was scary. Gavin wanted to just go and practice at the Troy Park basketball. And I'm like, I don't want you to go. I'm scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, it's probably not the time.
That was very
Scary.
eye-opening because, you know, I was sitting at home recovering because I had surgery. And you know, some of my football players, they went, I was like, well, you know, I can't go because, you know, I'm out. It's like, but I'm on watch to make sure, you know, and I've seen all them comments, and I mean, and to be honest, even like with what you're saying with the YouTube thing, I think that, or wherever link you was talking about that from, I mean, I feel like if you delete the comment, that's not being transparent. Because
we gotta see who we are.
Because
we are in Troy.
I'm gonna be honest, maybe, you know, I got a little comfortable with the coaching and stuff, but you know, when I seen that the comments from the live feed, I mean, they let me know, you know, it's not as
pleasant as they said.
yeah.
So Sonia,
I agree. That's how the Troy Freedom Chasers came to life. The peaceful protest were the same kids. And the comments completely changed, right? The same kids. That's why we did Thursday. And I would like to say, if we get an honorary community member, my vote is right there in the corner. And I won't say it again, but honestly, like, because I just know the rapport, the respect. And if we do need a transparent, neutral person, she is that. And she's earned that, truthfully. So just being honest.
Sonia, I have a question. You said the comments are deleted. Can you tell me where the comments being deleted from? Is
Well,
it
maybe
from
deleted is the wrong word because I'm not tech savvy, but you can't see them. So you
Okay.
could tell that there were comments, but they're blocked out or whatever.
Now, is this from our meetings? The comments
Yeah,
that are
like the reactions from like the Zoom or the Facebook or whatever. So I just assume they're negative, right?
It's not only for your meeting. We don't, comments are not turned on any post on our social media.
Okay.
She's probably trying to protect her sanity.
I understand, I'm just wondering why, like, is it just because it cause confusion, problems? Good or bad, because I mean, there might be good comments, you know what I'm saying?
It'd
Like,
probably be just a procedure because if there's comments, they probably would have to react to them.
I know that it was an administrative decision to not have them there only because, I mean, that was a decision made. So,
But that's
Right.
all.
And the comments that we're referring to that like broke our hearts, that was the Troy Daily News. That was not the city.
the new police chief, I mean, even that.
Or the street closures,
Yeah.
nowhere you'll see comments
Right.
on our.
So she's saying it was a Dayton Daily. It wasn't the Troy City.
No, it was a Troy Daily News. It was not the
Oh, the
city
Troy Daily.
that had those
That's a
negative
different
comments.
organization.
I thought.
Yeah, it was just out of the reaction of the article is where all those buckled.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to move just a little bit.
Okay,
But
so I
finish
guess
up.
while we're still on this subject, so if we do post things for the HRC on social media, will we not be able to get posts, comments, things like that? I think that's what we're saying, right?
It sounds like we won't be able to get.
Talking about, you know, like Facebook comments. I mean, that's where it is right now, but then there's.
They can
other
private
ways.
message
People
Well, they might be able to
email you direct.
well, they
Yeah.
probably can do the messenger.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can do
right.
messages.
That's good, I think.
Yeah.
And your email address.
I think
It's
it
just
is
Your
really nice
emails
to
are
see.
listed,
Yeah, I'm
links
saying.
are listed where they can click and send an email to the committees directly, so.
in private.
And that's how it is done for the council members,
Mhm.
you know, all the other boards and commissions.
What you were about to say?
I'm just a brainstormer. So again, I'm thinking, we know in our nation right now, we have a window of opportunity. There's a few more ears open right now. How cool would it be to have an event, a storytelling event? And again, I'm not just talking about local, but what if you got national media? And I don't know how you go about that, but I'm just brainstorming
Oh, good luck.
to, well, I shouldn't say well, because again, I'm thinking from my frame of mind. So maybe it's a dream, but I'm just thinking it's such a conversation in the United States today.
Well, the town right down the road from us was on national. People, I went to school out of state, and I have friends from all over. And was it Bethel?
Mm-hmm.
And they had a post right on there about how bad it was there, racial slurs,
Bad.
people getting assaulted because of one person peaceful protesting, just standing there with the Black Lives Matter shirt on.
I just want
And they got national news.
Did you see it?
I mean, that could be the point to like, this is what we're doing. And having these conversations that could, I mean, because it was even mentioned on a national radio station.
Yeah, to me, it's the positive.
Yeah.
We're working towards.
Right, but
Some
that could be
positive.
something,
They
that's
have to
something.
know the negative.
Well, everybody knows
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Everybody knows about that. A lot of people know about it, not here in this area. And it was, you know, it's been out throughout the social media, but this could be something that say, hey, we're like this far from this area. You know, we're right down the street. And I'm not saying that it could bring national news for sure, but I mean, I think that dialogue would be something that.
And we're a very small town, so.
For me, it's just a brainstorm. That's all I was saying, a brainstorm.
I mean,
think
it's
it's
even
a
any
good
kind of media would kind of just help because people have tuned in. I know where I work in Dayton now, and they were coming up to me like, yeah, we saw Troy and those young people who, you know, had the little rally at the church. And, you know, they didn't know, you know, I was like, yeah, it was great.
Sometimes they're looking for the Midwestern story that, again, you don't think that it reaches there, the issues, but they do.
Yes, they do.
And probably more so than anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'd like to add that I think a part of our mission is to try to make sure that we're communicating to people the right way. And I have a different opinion about protests. Like, I haven't been involved in any of them. I think that the way you protest is that you learn how to become a city councilman. You learn how to become a mayor. You learn how to become a senator. You learn how to use the system that we have in place to your benefit. And I'm not saying that protesting isn't important. It's very vital because I think that's what's allowed us to be here today. But I think that we as a commission should maybe look at teaching kids that want to protest at how to interact with the city and get jobs within the city and apprentice within the city. We
agree. And even in regards to protesting, to know, to get an ordinance, right? To get like talk
to do it without getting arrested. Right. They have to know their rights. And I think it starts with proper education. So, and you know, I know that people get so angry, they're just frustrated, which is why all those buildings are burning down right now. And what's the city called? Kenosha. They're all burning down. And it's because people are so frustrated, they don't know how to handle all the trauma that they've had to go through. And I think that part of this commission is to really say, I understand your trauma. Here's how you work within the system to make change.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
I agree, but I disagree in a way, just because some people do try that and it's not successful because there's not avenues for those people to do that. It's, however, you know, I definitely don't agree to the protests where there's violence and you do things, but also education-wise, to educate, especially the younger people, because that's the biggest voice. You know what I mean? That's why I always try to say, involve the youth, because that's the voice right now. You know, those are the people that have no technology. Those are the people that are going to be the leaders. And in education, how to handle if you get stopped by the police. You know what I mean? The best way you can, how to speak. There's certain times when I'm in my garage and young people pass, black, white, whatever, and they got the music blasting, being loud. And I'm like, they're just waiting to get stopped. You're just putting yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? So educating our kids, you know, there's a place, time and place for everything. We all know that. We do things when we're at home. We may not do when we're at work. We may speak a certain way or say words that we don't say at work, that we might say at home. Not that we're fake people, but that there's a time and place for everything. So educating our kids is the biggest thing, because right now, if you're a child right now, what are you thinking? If you're a young person of any color, but of black or brown people, how are you supposed to act? What are you supposed to do? There's been people who've been killed. And they did everything they were supposed to do. You know, educating our kids on what to do. But when you have trauma in your life, and you've had trauma throughout your life, not just this, but in your home, you've seen people getting killed. You've seen your family members going to jail. What are they going to do if we don't educate them?
Right.
They're going to go out and do what they're hurt.
Right.
So they're going to go out and do this.
Right.
And then they're going to follow what their parents might be doing. So it's education.
And we also, I like your thought, Marvin, but again, we also know the systems are stacked against them.
Yes. Yeah.
To do exactly what you're saying. So my son,
I like your education
my son
component.
would say that there still needs to be peaceful action.
Yeah.
A pipeline to success, not to jail.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't
In
think.
schools, everything.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
I like what you're, I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
in my mind, I'm saying yes, 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 but
I agree with you.
in reality.
Because I think with regards to what you said, like, I feel like, you know, I can't tell somebody how to feel. I agree with, you know, because I look at protests the same way. I feel like if you do like the destroying the buildings and stuff like that, you know, I don't agree with that.
I don't.
But I also look at it from the same standpoint, like I can't tell somebody how to react.
So luckily, we live in Troy. We are very blessed. We had a peaceful protest.
Yes.
Nothing went awry to even go off into a subject of a non-peaceful protest. It's our amendment. They practiced it. But I love how she brought in the education. So when someone gets sentenced to jail and your child, you're watching your dad get cuffed, we don't call a crisis unit. We don't think about someone needs therapy or needs to talk. Maybe again, we need to educate and have relevant education that the crisis unit is for more than just somebody who's spiraling out of control from a mental health. But I think acknowledging, and I think what I'm hearing a lot of is that under-resourced population, people that don't have, again, that vision to become the councilman or whatever. But what do you see and what do we know? MLK marched, he protests. So we're following what we think, but I think adding more education and addressing the trauma, especially with the youth, we don't ever think of that. Literally, like you get cuffed, you get pulled out, and the family is sitting there traumatized. And if you don't have resources to know that if you don't get therapy, you may become that very same thing you disdain.
Right.
I mean, that's simple social work.
How you gonna go to school? How you gonna think? How can you function going to school, seeing what you saw, knowing, you know, for whatever reasons, your family member is locked up for something they did or maybe didn't do. Your family member's dead for something they did or didn't do.
Yeah.
How am I gonna go to school and learn?
Exactly.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, and that's why we talked about in the education having social workers in school, but perhaps maybe looking at our crisis unit for more than just mental health. I think could address some of that.
There's mild trauma that can affect you just as much.
Yeah,
Depending on your situation.
for sure. Yeah, that becomes an identity, right? So that also becomes an identity that becomes a barrier for you to have a relationship with the organizations in your community that would help you create stability.
And knowing where to go, like you guys.
Yeah. Definitely. Or even having the language, right? to
Yeah.
say what you've been through. Yeah, for sure.
So I think this is great. This is really good discussion, but how do we focus it into an actionable item? Anybody have a thought?
Well, I think we talked, like most of this could be part of the toolbox, educating the CIT unit. You know, they come out when people OD, they call people the next day or two to follow up. Maybe we follow up when someone is, you know, in a situation like that with their children, with the family. Maybe
Sorry, the what unit? You used the acronym.
Crisis Intervention Team, CIT. And we also talked about that, I think, in overarching HRC, like, because we have a poor mental health structure. And so a lot of it falls on the CIT unit, and the police will tell you a lot of our calls aren't even for police, it's for mental health, but we have to put them in jail, but we really need somewhere else to go. So again,
they've cut a lot of the funding for mental health. So I'm serious, you see it, even in the schools, we have so much trauma in the school where I'm at, and I mean, so much. Anything in the headlines, usually somebody's arrested. But then, we don't have any mental health counselors.
that's right.
You know, I can counsel them,
2
but I'm
hours
not
in school.
counselor. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the situation in Dayton where the police officer, you know, my students were in there. That was a student who ran out the back door and saw somebody, like 2 people get shot. I mean, it's all the time. Anytime we, like, and these kids gotta come back to school, but there's nobody to talk to if they don't have insurance. You know, and it's so overwhelming where they might get in maybe once a month.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids, it's normal, right? It becomes normalized because there is no outlet. So it's no. I just had a client call the 2 people that were electrocuted, or what happened when all the stuff came off. Our kids saw that guy like leached over in a bucket. They're traumatized. I had to talk them through that. So yeah, there are a lot of things. So I think putting it under the toolbox and raising awareness is probably where it would best fit. Now, mental health should be its own.
I think it should be its own.
Its own animal. And the police, the whole city will love us because everyone is suffering from this. The whole gamut, transportation, housing, criminal, everything. And when we talk about National Night Out, a thought comes to mind. We need to have the courts as a part of that, because your first thing is the police. Well, guess where you land? In the court, right? So let's have conversations now with judges before we get in trouble. Let's ask the questions. You know, if I'm poor and I can't afford to look nice in your courtroom, does that really impact and affect me? If I speak circular, do you think I'm lying? You know, do I even know I speak circular? Probably not, right? So again, having the courts is a part of that. A lot of people don't see that future view, which is the court. So bringing them so they can develop relationships so then they can advocate as well, I think is just as pertinent as the police. And then maybe there'll become a time where the city, if we're talking about the city does all these things and our community isn't reading it, doesn't embrace it, maybe we need to build that bridge as well.
I think at the end of the day, people just need to know where to go.
Yes.
I think they just need to know. And so I think that this is a great initiative that we could put together something and get it communicated out to people so that they can know that there's places you can go, people you can talk to for anything that you're dealing with. I think that's
saying like question answer.
Right.
If this is going on, I mean, be blunt. Like this is who you can call.
Right.
If this is going on in your house, it's going. If you have a family member that's incarcerated, hey, this is who you can call. I mean, it has to be laid out. It can't be in all fancy terms and everything. That it's something that anybody, straightforward, a young person, an older person, a person who went to college, a person who didn't go to college can understand.
So we didn't add on there, but we probably need to reach out to some school counselors.
So do you want?
And trying to figure out, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So do you want me to add a 6th initiative?
Yes.
Create a
trauma, mental health assistance.
I'm so glad you're here.
And some of our kids are going to tell you some of the trauma comes from some counselors too. So you might have to get some outside help as well.
You better shut your mouth.
And I like the branding part of it. If those organizations that partner with what John is putting together, if we had like an HRC approved, then that would give another emotional layer that people know I'm safe here.
I think this is so important. I think this is, you know, I think back to my high school years, and we had some guys that had a party and the house burned down. There's 6 people that died in the house. And we did grieving in school. We basically had like a full day where kids could come in and talk to the counselor. But really what should be happening is we should have counselors or therapists maybe speaking to the entire school from a young age, talking about trauma and how to handle trauma and stress. Because really, if you look at trauma and stress in the way that it shows itself in a negative way as you get older, I think we're dealing with that right now in America.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we're dealing with. And so
If they did the ACE score on our children in school, they would already be filtered to counseling, probably in kindergarten.
Yeah.
and then we could possibly help people to heal through these things. I mean, there are so many things I went through growing up. I never spoke with a counselor, never at all.
Exactly. Then you learn better coping skills instead of the drugs and putting all the money into the programs that have not
It's like
worked.
football.
Right, that gets the
Yeah.
energy out, but it's the coping skills, teaching the kids coping skills, not, you can't coddle them to the point, but you have to teach them, okay, if your dad is, say you have a stepdad, he's home using drugs, he's abusing your mom, you know what I mean? Or he's just home and your mom's not home, you don't feel comfortable. Extracurricular activities.
Yep.
What can you do after school till your mama gets home? Or what can you do to just go up in that house, get in the shower and go to sleep, lock your door to feel safe? Because there's times you can't be there for the kids. You can't, it's illegal. Like I would love to take them in, but you can't. So, you got to teach them things like, do you have a close friend? You can go to their house until he goes to sleep or he goes to work, or, teach them ways to, because you can either teach them those skills or not, and they just go on what they think, or you can just coddle them to the point where they're helpless, but they need coping skills. Nobody's going to do that, nothing to help them later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most important action items on the list, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's really important. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Telling you, honorary community member.
She's sitting right here. I'm not pointing any elbows.
I'm just very, very adamant about kids, man.
I'm sorry.
They don't have a choice in a lot of their circumstances.
I need you back in Troy City Schools, lady. Or I need you in Troy City Schools.
All right, so we have our 6 executive initiatives. So are we all set on those 6?
Yeah.
We have 4 minutes left. So we need to set a new meeting date. It's a good meeting.
Got some fired up people.
Jordan, you said that you don't have time on Wednesdays, correct?
No, we start
This week. I mean, there might be like a couple ones. I'm gonna be honest with you, because of everything going on right now, like my coaching schedule has changed literally yesterday. Like our schedule changed 3 times within 1 hour of when like our games and stuff were gonna be, just because, we're trying to,
That's okay.
just trying to. So I'd say as of right now, Wednesdays aren't gonna work, but I mean, if I can make it, I'll make it. I mean, and if, for example, if I have to, like I know one game is going to be on Wednesday at like 8:00. So, I mean, if I have to come in, watch it on Zoom for a little bit and then, hey, go do my coaching thing.
Thursdays,
I think I only have one game on Thursday,
Yeah, well, let's do Thursday.
That should be okay.
Be the opposite Thursday of our meeting.
Thursdays aren't very good for me.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Well, not at some Thursdays, let me put it that way. So if you're looking at the 10th, it's not good. I don't know what specific date we're looking for.
What about the 8th?
October. 8th of September. I'm good.
I should.
What about the 8th, Sonia?
I'm good. Yep. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. It's a Tuesday night. I'm no good on Tuesdays because I do development at nights.
All right, you're going to have
I'm
one.
good on Friday, the 11th.
I don't do Fridays.
No, I don't do Fridays.
Unless we're going to do before 5:30, then I could do it. If it's like 4 to 5:30, I could do a Tuesday.
You can't do that.
There's no way I'm gonna.
What about Mondays? Mondays are bad?
That's not good for me.
Okay,
And Monday was already
Labor Day.
Education.
Labor Day and educate, yes, Education and Outreach Committee is meeting on Mondays.
So Jordan, if you miss on the 9th, we'll have your backup.
Okay.
You can always watch it online too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have your backup.
I understood you. You see, I didn't look up, right? Okay.
We're gonna do the 9th
Mhm.
at 6.
The 9th at 6, yeah.
Be at Fire Station 2, or do you need Partners in Hope?
No, we're trying to find a permanent location,
So,
right?
yes, probably will be Senior Citizen Center because you'll be able to spread out. They have a space there. And I am working on getting microphone and we'll have a laptop and they have TV so we can plug the laptop in TV and you'll have a space to meet. So, Senior Citizen Center.
So 9 September 16th, okay.
And do you want to meet at 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6 is
So
good.
September 9th. 6 o'clock. Senior Citizen Center. Okay.
The like, or Yiki.
She wants her real government
Okay,
name.
ZUL.
Would you like to address the
AI.
commission?
Commission, everybody?
Yeah.
No
For the
bother.
city, you're on video.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
AI,
I'm on the same line. I just told you.
KHA.
Anything you want.
No, she wants to come to the big one.
Come to the big meeting?
Mhm.
Said it enough times.
Penny. TENN.
All right, can we move to adjourn?
I almost said.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sonia, have a wonderful evening.
Bye,
You too.
son.
Bye, guys. Have a good night. It's good to see you.
You too.